Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Check. Welcome everyone. It's always good to be on a Sunday and sitting together. I have not heard as yet yours the last Sunday because it is still being edited. Lots of things were happening, so the editing got delayed a little bit. But I also look forward to hearing it. Today, I did go through Vijay and we had a little dialogue on that. Something very nice for both of you to take on and express that divinity from within. So basically, I'm looking at it that this is what the I, meaning I get the perspective, and that I is not this mind, not this body, but I get a message that it is our absolute onus, responsibility to bring about this message of what you and I have stumbled upon and which has been there for thousands of years in India, which most people are ignorant about it, and including those who have been, like I noticed my own close relatives, my brothers, there are lots of learned people around, they're not aware of it, and because of which they are passing through lots of things which they don't have to pass through. And they're also missing out that beautiful, that golden egg. I don't know if you know, Cleopatra was presented by Julius Caesar 3 golden eggs made of gold and jewels and things like that as a mark of his love and affection to Cleopatra. After Cleopatra died, these 3 eggs went missing. And people did find out, and there are lots of Hollywood films on this, and they eventually found out, and they're right now, they're in several museums of the world. Supposed to be very expensive. This is what I'm talking about, is that because you and I, we all got very engrossed into so-called thinking about, I'm this body, and I'm this mind, and I'm this family, and I'm this house, and I'm this car, I'm this money, bank account, the job that I do, the role that I play, the father, mother, son, daughter, and we're limited to that. And this is where the problems are coming in. Reminds me, there's a young gentleman who was 2 of the very, very famous, one gentleman, the young guy went off from India to do a very special study in Harvard. Imagine, specially chosen, doing his study, and he started to study Schopenhauer. And he was a philosophy student, and in which he read about, from Schopenhauer, American gentleman, he read about India's Vedanta. He's an Indian. He's gone there. And his family, his background and spiritual thing, he didn't know anything about it. And you will have seen that it talked about Philip Goldberg, who was written about American Veda, one book, both are here with us. And the other one is on Paramahansa Yogananda. And he, in his American Veda, is writing this story. He goes around the world and studying, and particularly in India, Philip Goldberg came many times, and a very young guy right now, I don't think he more than 40, 45 or so. He came to India, he was going around to Rishikesh, Lachmanjula, Haridwar, that area. And they found in the bank, they have little kuti, all of you must have seen, the monks are given by the state, that you can live in that kuti, because rain, thunder shower, whatever it is, they're taken care of. And they got something called Gupt Bhandar. This is gupt because it is not open. But strangely, if a monk goes to get something, it gets opened up. Somehow they come to know and it opens up. And what does it give? It gives a lota, a kambal. Lota is for the water flask. It's like this kind of a material. They give a kambal blanket. They give a chappal. And they give a little bit of molasses, gold, just before the winter season. Otherwise, it is not there. So, our state is looking after these monks who give their life for the peace and mankind. So Philip Goldberg happened to see one young guy doing meditation in front of his hut, in front of the river Ganga. He politely waited. He wanted to interview him. That's what he's gone. He's a writer. He's searching for people. So after a while, when this monk got up and all that, he goes and talks to him. Can I sit down and talk to you? How did you choose him? He spoke in brilliant English. He said, you know what? I'm a student from Harvard. And I went to Harvard to study. And I wanted to discover this life, and I'm a philosophy student. And he said, while doing this study, I happened to read Schopenhauer and read about India and Vedanta. Imagine, an American writer writing about India and Vedanta, and Schopenhauer is writing about Vivekananda and Vedanta. And he said, I got moved so much, I left everything. Came back to India, and I'm in search. This is what is happening to the people. There is another gentleman who is also a devotee. Like Rajiv Sanyal, you all are aware. He is an MTech from US, and he's taken various shots. He's in close touch. Progress. He goes to US. He's in New York. He's in Manhattan. He's working in some IT company and become very rich. Father and mother, very simple Bengali. In Calcutta. He went to IIT and became a good scholar, and from there went to US and doing lots of money. And now he's got a house in Manhattan, he's got a house in India, and he's given it to his father and mother. They gave everything of their life to this boy, one son. So now, son, what does it need? Money, house, property, good health, parent looking after responsibility, everything is done. So he rings up his father. He says, Father, I want to ask you, sometimes back I must have shared with you, but this must be a year back or more than that. He said, Father, now what you talked about, I have done everything. Now what? Now what am I supposed to do? That question has come to his mind. Now what? Father said, son, honestly, I don't know. I knew my duty was to educate you, to give you a good life, for which I have sacrificed, and so is your mother. We both have worked very hard, very simple family. They must have done lots of sacrifices. I know one father who wanted to buy, sometime back, must be little less than 100 years back, wanted to buy, those days scooters were the thing, scooty. The Lambretta and Vespa scooters were there. Vespa came later, Lambretta was before. Both are Italian that time. And he wanted to buy, but he never bought because he gave everything that he earned towards the children's growth. So like this father is also sacrificed, and this father says, son, I don't know. I was to give it to you, now you're doing what is supposed to be done. I don't know. And that's the question he was asking me. Now what? So he's joined now the Sarvapriyananda's Vedanta session there in Manhattan itself. He's a regular, he's is searching, and this is what the people are doing, they're searching. So I put in my first slide here a brilliant sunlight, glowing light. I'm tempted to share with you. Can you see? Yeah. Yes, sir. You see this?
Yeah.
This is the glowing, brilliant life is waiting for us. And we are in darkness and shade and suffering and sickness and disease. Why? Because we are ignorant. We don't know about it. And so I had some questions came about. We will deal with it. So basically, this whole world, I take a lot of time in preparing these slides. Those of you who get little time, go through but we send it recorded. Mon does the recording, and then it goes through our team. They send it into the YouTube. It is primarily for us to refer to it again and again. I refer to it. Those things because we are not speaking. Somebody else is speaking through us. Somebody else spoke through Tatyal sir and Vijay sir, and I heard somebody else is going to speak to some more of you. I'm waiting for Shraddha ma'am to start talking. And you, sir, no escape. Yes, our duty is to what we have realized, not to keep it secret. It's like, why I took the example of the Cleopatra's golden ring. It was kept secret just because it was too expensive. What is it doing in a collector's house or in a museum? It should be brought to the world. It should be brought to the people for the people to benefit from it. Whatever little we have learned, it's okay. We should share with it. So, world is waiting. They want, they need it. They don't know that they need it. But there's something which is making them, like this gentleman says, now what? This question is there in lots of people, Indians, foreigners, and Indian spiritual leaders are intensely spreading, the message of Vedanta. Somebody was asking, what is this Vedanta? What is the Vedanta? And he's quite a senior person in the spiritual world. So another Vedantist who's also a senior, who's telling him, because the other gentleman who was asking, what is this Vedanta? He was a Buddhist monk. And then he said, he's become a Vedantist now. Then he's wanting to know what is Vedanta. So he was given this example by a senior monk who was a Vedantist. He said, just imagine Buddhism with God. That is Vedanta. Very simple I found it very interesting. Meaning what Buddhism is doing, more or less it is following 90% of what Vedanta talked about. And Buddhist, if you look at it, is about 2,500 years ago. Shankaracharya came about 1,400-1,500 years ago, right? And Shankaracharya enumerated once again his 10 plus 1 Upanishad and brought once again, and Buddhists actually literally whitewash India's Hinduism. And everywhere there was Buddhists. And right from Ashoka, from that time emperor, he himself, his Sanghamitra, his daughter and his son, now everybody was taken into. From there, Shankaracharya brought back this Vedanta, ancient, rich heritage. It cannot be kept secret. And today, Harvard, New York University, David Chalmers, talking about, everywhere else is talking about. Oprah Winfrey, the richest lady today, she's talking about how can you start a day without Vedantic meditation. So, world is waiting. My question is that our intention is to the devoted members to help out wherever you get a chance and talk about it, to crystallize the dreams of the people. They have a dream. Some of them know about it, some of them don't know about it. they know something is making me not feel very complete. Whereas we are complete. And why we think we are incomplete? Because we align ourselves with the name, body, form, role that we play, gender that we have, and that's it. And this is what it is. So, help on the world. There is one beautiful, while doing the research, there is a very famous professor of Cambridge. He's no more. He's from Vienna, and he became a professor of Cambridge. His name is Ludwig Wittgenstein. Now, when I came across this, it was so astoundingly powerful message that I thought I'll share with you all. And there was long time ago in Crossford, long time ago, must be 24, 25 years ago. I used to go to Crossford, and especially that motivation section is the place where I used to go. Where first time I came across Paramahamsa Yogananda's Bhagavad Gita. It was new arrival and beautifully bound, a new arrival written down, thick book. And I remember Monica and Arjun Sinhaji, Guruji, and Nived, 4 of us had gone. I had taken them. I said, come, we'll go and buy some books and we'll have a little coffee there. And so we spent almost an hour, and just before leaving, I saw the new arrivals. I went down there and I found very nice hardcover, very good looking book. We always wanted to read Bhagavad Gita. We have read Bhagavad Gita little here and there, not like Tapliyal sir, who mastered it at a very youthful age. So I picked up 4 of them. One for Nivedan, one for Arjun Sinhaji Guruji, and one for me, and one extra. And after that, I must have bought maybe 1,500 or 2,000 of the same book. And I got the message. Wherever you find, give it to them. I keep doing that. There in the Bhagavad Gita, that similar message is there. You find that message. Here, Professor Ludwig Wittgenstein, he came out from a Cambridge class. He's a professor of philosophy, came out, and the sun was setting. Mark you, beautiful example. Not because I'm saying beautiful, it really shook me up. He looked at the sunset and he said, I wonder why our prehistoric people, predecessors, had said that earth is stationary and sun is going round, it rises in the east and sets in the west. I wonder why did they say that? There was a young girl who was following him, who was very fond of her professor, and I put his photograph also. Very simple looking. So the girl told the professor, Wittgenstein, why sir? Because it looks like that. It looks sun is moving, we are stationary, it rises from there and it goes to the other side and sets. Because of that, the Professor Wilkinson looked at her and with a gentle smile he said, it is because our prehistoric people, and as you and I, it appears to us, is what? That sun is stationary and sun is going round and round. So it looks like that. Correct? So the girl said, yes sir. He said, what if it is the other way? That is, the earth was going round and round and sun is stationary. How would it look? Exactly the same way. And you know what is the application here? It stunned me, and Swami Sarvapriyananda is bringing it out. He says, just see, we all are flesh and blood, and mind is getting enriched and intelligent, and we have an ego, and we have our body which is aging, and eventually it dies. And we think the world is like that. And it has got the mountains and dogs and the dolphins and the sky and the beautiful snowfalls and river and ocean and desert. This is the world. What if it is not, and only one thing is real, which is consciousness, and everything else like a film, which you watch in a movie? What would the world look like? Can you see the implication? How would it look? It would look exactly the same. Can you see the beautiful anomaly? How Wilkinson didn't think of it. This is what Sarvapriyananda is bringing it out with his own wisdom and knowledge. And I found it enormous. This is what we are actually. This is the ignorance. Ignorance of the people. It appears so, it thinks so, it looks so. And we are pretty happy, contented, and what? Suffering. Suffering because of the ignorance. Now, a question came related to this. This question came. Funny question. Do gods suffer? Do the gods have suffering? So I refer to it a little bit of Vijay's talk in this. I was listening to it. Once I was listening, you all will be surprised, Kiri ma'am. Everybody there that day? Yeah. And from beginning to end, Shada ma'am also listened to it. I didn't stop. I didn't get up from that time till the time. I listened to every word of yours. It was over 48 minutes, I think. Now, in which he's talking about, do the gods suffer? Answer is powerfully beautiful, simple in Vedanta. Yes, gods suffer. When, I'll refer to your talk, they reincarnate themselves and become human beings. Like if you look at, we had just now, yesterday was Eid, Ramadan and Eid. Muhammad suffered. Look at Jesus Christ. He suffered, reincarnated. Paramahansa Ramakrishna suffered from throat cancer and couldn't eat. He left his body around 54. Now, very famous example. They say Jesus Christ actually didn't suffer because the Jesus Christ which was crucified and whose neck was chopped off was not Jesus Christ. It was, this is one of the theory, and which the Christianity and the Pope and things like that, they've erased it, so you don't come to read about it. But it's there. By Evergrace, I refer to you all about it, he's mentioned about it. Is what? That it was not Jesus Christ, it was an illusion of Jesus Christ for the people to do what? What did Paramahansa Ramakrishna do? Exactly the same thing. So, Hari Maharaj comes in the morning, Kashipukur. 3 days to go for him to leave his body. Hari Maharaj comes and says, later on he became Turiyananda Swami, great monk, great Vedantist. He said, Thakur, how are you feeling? Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, oh, Penny, I can't eat anything and I want to eat but my throat, I can't swallow anything. And actually they gave a little bit of, Holy Mother, she made from, the boiled rice, that thick water, that in Bengali we call it fana. This is the thick,
Water of the rice,
right.
boiled rice.
Right, the pulp of it, the watery pulp. He gave her one spoon and it trickled out from him. He couldn't swallow it. So what he was saying, Hari Maharaj looks at him and he said, but Thakur, you look to be in bliss. You look to be in happiness. And Paramahansa Ramakrishna, just see, he knew he was going to leave his body. What did he say? Is it in Bengali? Shala dhore peleche. Rascal is caught me. What did he say? In other words, he's suffering and telling you and I, he is the divination, reincarnation, is you and I. He is the incarnation. He is not reincarnation. He is incarnation. So what is the enlightened masters? What happens to them as per Vedanta? What happens to you and I? When you and I are not enlightened, when we die, we will reincarnate again and again and again. And most religion today talks about, including Islam and Judaism, talks about there is an afterlife. Muslim and all doesn't talk about reincarnation. Am I correct? But they talk about there is life after death, meaning there is something else after death. After death meaning it's not over. There is Qiyamah Day and things like that is there. Here, what they talk about, the great avatars, they come, take your form and show it to you. That look, I am also suffering exactly the way you are suffering. I know your pain. I understand your pain. But listen, there is a way to get out of that pain. And this is what Jesus Christ did. And this is what, you look at our ancient story, Ramayana. I don't know if you are aware about this. Sita, when after coming back, Rama won against Ravan, Ravana is killed. I don't know if you know, Vibhishan refused to do the Mukhagni brother. He refused to do it. He said, I don't want to, he's an evil soul. I hate to say I'm his brother. The Rama went and said, no, you must. Who was the evil was that body. But Ravana is, his soul is not. You must let his soul be freed from the body, which is the Hindu way of doing the... And Vibhishan did it. Now Rama is coming back before Ayodhya. Those people in there, he said Sita was living with Ravana for so long. How do we know she's pure? So those people, the people decided if she enters fire and comes out of the fire without getting unscathed, not burned, then she is pure. Rama said, go ahead. Lakshman was fuming. He said, what nonsense, you don't trust my bhabhi? You don't trust your own wife? So then Rama was trying to pacify Lakshman. Lakshman wouldn't listen. So then he took Lakshman aside and he said, listen, the Sita which will go in and which will come out is not the Sita. You know, this is the same thing as the Jesus Christ and Paramahansa Ramakrishna. Understand? He said, then, can't you see Sita is there? Sita will be going in. He says, no, that's not the real Sita. Before she was taken as captive, Rama knew that it could happen. So what he did, he prayed and asked Agni Devata to come and take Sita and let Sita stay with him. And the image of Sita was roaming around all this time and the whole story took place. I don't know if you know about this. So that he said now the real Sita has to come back. So that image of the Sita will enter the fire from the other side, the real Sita will come. Do you mind? I want my real wife back. Just like that, Jesus Christ and Paramahansa Ramakrishna and the various others are talking about. Do they suffer? This is one question. And subsequently, I must tell you, the fallacy of this is Ashtavakra, all of you know, we talked about it a lot. Guru of the great Ashtavakra Gita and Guru of Janak Maharshi. He is the father of Janaki, Sita. Now, Janak Maharshi and Ashtavakra, they're doing meditation together. Ashtavakra, I don't know if you'll see his image, the image which is imagined by the artist and all that, is really ugly. And imagine, he was the wisest soul till now. And when first time when he entered Janak Maharshi, they were having the Mahasabha and everybody started laughing. He had only two things. one Kaupin Vastra with one danda and one Kamandul. That Kamandul had the water and one danda. You will have seen we used to do that meditation with the danda underneath the arm. We used to do like that for our initial part of the Kriya. Yeah? That for the, Omkar meditation. So the hand doesn't get tired. So he had that. So Janak Maharshi, while meditating, he's saying, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. He's carrying on chanting that mantra. Suddenly, Janak Maharshi heard that Ashtavakra Gita is saying, Danda Pani, Danda Pani, Danda Pani, Danda Pani. So, Janak Maharshi got very irritated. He was not enlightened then. He became enlightened subsequently by Ashtavakra only. He said, Gurudev, what are you saying? What is this? Ashtavakra said, why? I am saying Danda Pani. He said, what is Danda Pani? I said, this is Danda and this is Pani. This is my Danda, this is my Pani. I am saying, I am not saying my Danda, my Pani, I am just saying Danda Pani, Danda Pani. So Janak Maharshi said, what's so great about it? Everybody knows. Ashtavakra said, everybody knows Aham Brahmasmi. Why are you chanting it like a monkey? This is what I thought of sharing with you. We in our journey for this thing, we are not realizing, and we are doing great research and we are trying to find out what the truth. Truth is us. Only thing we have forgotten and we are aligning ourselves, and it is like the TV screen. How much is the TV screen affected if the movie is running or not running in the TV? Or if it is a hilarious movie, is the TV screen affected? Or if it is a great, Jurassic Park is going on, is it getting scared? Dinosaurs are running. Or if it is a sad movie or a lovey-dovey movie, TV screen is not bothered. It's not even bothered with it running. And that's who you and I are. And the inside the film is going on, which is our life, so-called. But once we are aware of that, then it becomes a different kind of a life for us. So I thought I'll share with you. I have a story which I will take you all later.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Louder, please.
Can I ask one question? This is not related to this, but yesterday was that half moon. So I was walking in the garden. I saw the half moon in the garden. So I was just thinking, like, what is inside the sky? Because 2 days the sky was very cloudy. So I was just walking and thinking, what you can see inside the sky. What is there?
Read. Sharda, what is it?
Yesterday, ma'am, she was taking walk, and I believe yesterday was a half moon. And ma'am, she was thinking, what is inside a sky?
Inside?
A sky.
Sky.
What is it?
What is there inside the sky?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it for the last 2 days. What you can see inside the sky. I don't know why it came out.
Okay. What is space? Are you aware of what is space?
Yeah.
What is?
Space meaning moon, sun, Jupiter, like that.
Who would like to answer? What is space? How would you like to answer?
This is all vacant.
See, it is very difficult to understand what is space, but we are in the space all the time. So supposing this building came up, there was space here. Now that the building has come up, where is that space which was there here?
Right there.
Hmm?
Still there.
Wow. Very nice, Yogesh. Yes, space hasn't gone anywhere. So what is sky? Sky is nothing else but space. Okay? And what appears to you like blue sky, sometimes red sky, dark clouds will cover up the sky. So similarly is what you and I are talking about, is who we are and this is the dark clouds which will come up because of our karma and the reincarnations and things like that. But that is not who we are. So what you're saying, what is inside of this space, is it nothing else? It appears to be so. So like as a fighter pilot, I always had a dream that I am going to go through the sky, the blue sky. The more you go up, the more the blue sky carries on expanding. It is exactly the same. You can go through the cloud. So that we have done many a time. So that space is the sky, which is infinite, which is always there and alone, and it is your perspective. Yeah? Okay. So the other question which came up very nice. The question is a very long question, but I'll give you that intellectually I understand that God and awareness are the same. God, Brahman, consciousness, awareness. Intellectually I understand, meaning we've been attending some Vedanta classes and knowing. In our meditation we keep talking about when we come in, you should remove your name, form, the role that we play, which is called removing the chappal. That's why you remove the chappal when you go to the temple. Remove the chappal meaning what? You remove, I am a yogesh. I remove, I am father, or I am a husband, or I am a professional or something. And you come as just, I come here because I love you. You is the God or Divine Mother, Babaji, Krishna, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, whatever. You say, I come. He said, we all have talked about it, that when you walk into the temple, come with empty, only with awareness and love for God is what you should have. Then only you are doing true Bhakti Yoga, and then certainly the awareness of the God's thing and working, and whatever is in your mind, decision, desires, etc., you see it getting crystallized, because then you are purer form. It's very simple. You will see tiny babies' requests are met by before even baby does. Baby doesn't want to eat, but the mother is wanting to feed. And same baby after 30 years, he is wanting to eat, and everybody said don't eat so much. I understand. So that's the purity of the baby, which automatically gives this. So now the question is that I don't know how to love consciousness, love awareness. Brahman is consciousness, is awareness. But it doesn't have any form. It is just, it's totally a kind of vague thing. How do I love consciousness? How do I love Brahman? Goes on to say, how to love consciousness? How does one love awareness? I know how to love flowers and gardens and mountains and people and my husband, my wife, my children, I know how to love people around, I know how to love cars and things like that. I know how to love them. But I do not know how to love consciousness. I do not know what to focus on. To focus on, I need something. How do I deal with that? And I don't actually have any feelings for it at all. It's neutral to me, just like your sky, your space. It apparently is just empty. I understand how pure consciousness can be peace because it is like a calm ocean. But I do not understand how it can be bliss and happiness and joy. How can it be that formless thing is the happiness and the bliss and the joy? The very big question. Now, understanding how can it bring peace, etc., is what we talked about. So, the question shows that the inquirer, the person who is asking the question, He's understood consciousness a lot because he knows that it is something which is untenable, untouchable, and yet once you get to it, how will it give me peace and happiness if I cannot touch it, feel it? You see, because we like to see the world, touch the world, feel the world with our five senses. You cannot touch in consciousness or Brahman or awareness. So how do I get into that? This is possibly, so we go ahead and we continue to practice, we continue to chant, and this is what Janak Maharshi was doing. It is not chanting, it is being aware, it is just knowing. That's why I often say, do you know you're a man? Do you know we are not a donkey or a monkey? Do you know you're a girl or a boy? You know it. Similarly, it is knowing it, it is not something. So the answer to this is this pure consciousness is not objective, it is subject. And subject is the one who experiences one, like you. You and I, we are the subject. To remember Drisya Viveka, seer and the seeing, which we had talked about. So I can see the computer, my eyes can see the computer, right? But the eyes can't see the eye itself. Have you ever thought of it? You say, no, I can see it when I see it in the mirror. No, what you see in the mirror is the image of the eye. You're not seeing the eye itself. Similarly, you cannot experience consciousness because experience happens only through the senses. But you can become aware of it. You can know it. And when you know it, you become who? The one who knows. What is another name for the one who knows? Kailash, do you know? The one who knows. Sorry? Anybody? No? The one who knows is Buddha. Buddha means the one who knows. Knows what? Knows exactly this. That who am I? I'm not this body. And this happened actually, after he chose to start to speak first, 7 days after his enlightenment, he did not speak to anyone. And everybody coming and saying, tell us what have you found? And he's glowing, light, beautiful, very pleasant to be with him. But he's silent, he's not speaking at all. And then they all went down to those people who, 14 of them, they had started together with Buddha the journey for the self-realization. And Buddha eventually left them and went on to Jai. You come and look?
Yes, she has some answers.
Huh?
She has some answers, so she left.
She had to go somewhere.
Yes.
Oh, we are very happy that you have decided to come. Very nice. Good. So, Buddha was going to a Sarnath to go and give his first lecture, right? It's about 30 kilometers from Varanasi, Kashi. And Bodh Gaya is about, I think it's about 200 some odd kilometers. Nowadays, that road is getting repaired, so they're taking 8 to 10 hours to go down. They have to go through diversion. They're repairing that road. So now, on the way, there was this shepherd boy. Buddha was a little tired, he was sitting under a tree. So when shepherd boy happened to him, he saw the glowing face of a Buddha and he said, Sir, he didn't say, who are you? He said, what are you? The Buddha just smiled. What are you? Then he said, are you a saint? Buddha shook his head. Are you God? He said, are you a monk? Shook his head. And like that he asked him 2-3 questions. He said, who are you? And then Buddha said, I am the awakened one. Meaning, I know who I am. And this is the journey that you and I have to take it up. And the moment you do that, how is this one disciple wanted to know, teach me about space, your question. I'll talk about it later if we have little time, okay? Otherwise we get deviated from there. So, understand that the pure consciousness and love are entirely distinct and different than what we try to. You see, you can experience love, hatred, etc. with what? You make it up. You see somebody who's making certain gestures by which you think. A baby comes and wants to come into you and grab hold of you, or put his head onto you and holding on your skirt or dress. You feel love. That's the feeling. How do you express love? That is your expression through. But how do you know it? You see, it is subject. It is not an object. Object is like this computer, there is this table, like the people. So we like those five senses are given what? Actually, Vedanta explains these five senses, you know what? You'll be surprised. Beautiful explanation. And the more you come into, I was telling you about crossword, but I was trying to refer to it, not the Bhagavad Gita incident. There, the first time, long time back, I read that there was a giant board and which says, when you open a book, I have not forgotten, it says, when you open a book, you open a giant's mind, which you have never visited before. So you and I, when we read something, you suddenly get a new angle, a new something, which is already there. Only thing you never looked at it that way. So it gives you a new perspective, which is, I was talking about. So here, the perspective is what? Five senses are given. Why? God intentionally created us with defect. Manufacturing defect. What is the manufacturing defect? To make us go out, 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 and forget about in. And this is what is happening. What is happening? Five senses go out. I see that beautiful rose and I like to smell it, I like to grab it, I like to buy it, I like to take it, I like to keep it with me. I'm going out to the world and trying to capture the world and bring it to me. And in the bargain, what has happened? We are only outwards. Manufacturing defect. We are supposed to be inwards. And that inwards is the journey is gone away. And this is why Vedanta and the religion has come into play. Basically, the birth of religion is because there is an afterlife. And how can we purify ourselves in this life itself and make everybody's life much better and take it across. So now, how can we love this consciousness? See, we are the only conscious being. We love things. We love things. We love this computer, you love the iPhone 14, you like the Samsung 23, you love the people, you like your children, husband, wife, people around. Now, as per Vedanta, how do you love this? The question is, I don't know how to love consciousness. I don't know how to love awareness because I cannot fathom it. I cannot touch it. I cannot feel it. I cannot taste it. I'm using those five senses to grab it. I can't do it. How do I love consciousness? You are saying consciousness is bliss. You are saying consciousness is nirvana. But how do I do it? I don't get any feeling. I cannot crystallize it. So, look at it this way. Vedanta says what? Everything is consciousness. You and I, consciousness. This is also consciousness. What the difference? Is the inanimate object is also consciousness. Yours is a physical body, sthula sharir, sukshma body, mano buddhi chitta ahankar. This is the fourth thing. And karana sharir or causal body. These are three things we have. I'm not going into the Panchakosha, okay? I'm just going about these are three basic things, right? So we have a physical body. Physical body is changing continuously, growing old, sickness, disease, good health. We are experiencing all of them. And then the Sukshma Sharir, which is the mind, the intellect, the memory, and the ego. They're the fourth thing. That Sukshma Sharir can know and express so-called the form of life from within, can experience awareness, can become nirvana, attain that Brahma Sattva, can attain. by which that Sukshma Sharir, and then the causal body, Karana Sharir. What is Karana Sharir? We have three states. Remember? This book, did you bring it? There's two books I kept. The Mandaka Upanishad is talking about it. Is we have Jagrat, like all of us are. Jagrat. And you and I know today, being a Vedantist, I am Jagrat and I am alive and I am experiencing this world. By the way, divine grace, I am seeing light everywhere. Glowing circles of light from all of you. We just covered right now. So, you know, this copy of Mandaka Upanishad, Schopenhauer is saying, this Mandaka Upanishad is being the solace of my life. Every night he will read little bit. And it will be the solace after my death. And you and I, we are born in this country. We talked about this book, I often talked about it, meditation and its practices in Vedantic way. So whatever we share with you, you know, like the typical IB way is the same way as the Vedanta way. Whatever you talk, there must be evidence for it. There must be. So the great masters, what evidence do they have? They show it to you. Vivekananda said, okay, where is God? Show it to me. He said, okay, I'll show it to you. And he was shown God. That's how Narendranath Datta became Vivekananda. And thank God, because of which, and similarly, Paramahansa Yogananda, you know, he's trying to meditate. Those of you who read autobiography, everybody's read? Keep on reading it. It's something beautiful to keep on having. By the way, we went and met Swami Swarananda ji, and Adinath ji has become now monk. He's become a Swami now. He's not a brahmachari anymore. He became on 2nd of October. And he gave me a call. It just so happened I called him. And he had not picked up the line. He must have been busy. And then he called me. And he gave me the news. And just one day before I gave it to him, on 1st of October. I'm sorry, 2nd of February. And 1st of February, a week, just 2 months back. And he said, he calls me sir, I call him sir. He said, sir, I am going to become a monk tomorrow. Actually, I asked him, sir, are you still brahmachari or have you become a monk? He was already 12 years, has been a brahmachari. Tough time they lead, really, no? He said, tomorrow. I said, tomorrow what? Tomorrow I am going to be a son. I said, wow. I remember that day, morning meditation, I was meditating for it. So we went specially to go and meet him and become a monk now. Now, this journey, Paramahansa Yogananda, he was practicing meditation in Sri Rampur, in Yukteswar Giri's house, and a few boys, 12 to 15 boys used to go live there with him, and he used to take care of everybody's food and things like that, and train them to be a monk. Paramahansa Yogananda, with his nature, he automatically became the leader. Now, he was trying to meditate, and naturally, people like you and me, thousands of things are happening in the head. His was also, he's writing it. He says, storms were happening in my head, and Yukteswar Giri said, Mukunda, come here. And Paramahansa Yogananda is writing it. How can he call me? Doesn't he know I'm meditating? Why is he calling me? He is disturbing me. He is talking about his own guru. And Yukteswar Giri pauses, and after that he said, enough is enough. Get up and come here. So he comes there. He said, take that broom and start sweeping that floor there outside. Outside, if you've been to his house, those of you been there, it's in quite a dilapidated state now. but the next garden they have made a nice temple, a white temple, very nice. You can sit there and meditate. It's about this big, this hall. Nice, beautiful. With Yuktashagiri as in its statue form. So, he said, sweep it. He said, sir, I am meditating. He said, go and sweep it. As he was sweeping, after about a few minutes, he called him. He said, what were you doing? He says, I was sweeping what you told me. He said, that is what you were doing, trying to meditate. And then he said, okay, come to me. Sit down. And then he said, then he touched him, just like Paramahansa Ramakrishna did for Vivekananda. He touched him and took him into the Samadhi state, first time. And because of which he became Paramahansa Yogananda. You saw, before that what? Before that what was Vivekananda? He was Narendranath Datta. From there he became Vivekananda. So now, you and I say, I wish we get one Paramahansa, one Jesus Christ, one Yukteswar. Don't think we don't have. Right now, whatever I'm seeing right now, all of you filled with light. Where is this coming to? This is all the grace of the Divine Masters who are there all along. They're what? They're consciousness. Where is consciousness? Where it is not. So I talked to you about Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir and Karana Sharir. So what is Karana Sharir now? Let's see. Vijay sir will be happy to know that Sharada ma'am has specially cooked for all of you. You know, Mom, Vijay was saying food in the ashram is so nice, but sir, honestly, we miss Sharada ma'am's touch. I said that is being done by Sharada ma'am only. No, we actually feel the absence of her touch. So you will be, so what Sharada ma'am has decided, about 50-60% she'll do and 40-50% she'll get it done. But they are also done by her only. And I couldn't agree with you more. I agree with you. That I was also telling her, I miss your touch in the food. You know, something you all have, mothers, I don't know, and Sharada ma'am, whatever she does. So, now, Sthula Sharir, physical body, which will grow old, which will die, which will change, we know that. We are not aware of it. But we grow old. And we want to be forever 21. Now, then come Sukshma Sharir. Sukshma Sharir only human beings, animals and plants have. So which can display life? Touch me not, plant. You go there, touch me not, stoops down. It shows you physically. If you talk to flowers and the plants, they bloom better. Trees grow fruit better. You know it. And that is now coming into that Sukshma Sharir. Sukshma Sharir is like an invisible balloon around us. Like, have you ever seen that Russian doll? You all must have seen it. You know, you must have bought it for your children. You have one big doll, you take it out, there's another big doll, you take it out, there's another big doll. Like that. Like that. We got Panchakosha, 5. And in this case, I'm talking about 3. Just imagine. Physical body, inside that is that Sukshma Sharir with 4 things. And then the causal body. What is causal body? Causal body is very interesting. Causal body is when you are sleeping. First physical body, Mandakya Upanishad. Now, that is awakened state. From there we go to sleep and dream state. Dream sleep state. Right? And then from there you go to deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, there is no mind. There is no thought. There is no worry. There is no anxiety. Even that guy lying in ICU, no, he's got 48 hours to live. He'll also have a beautiful deep sleep. He doesn't know about his sickness, or pain, cancer, or whatever it is. He also has the deep sleep, which is totally devoid of all thoughts, pains, and all that. What is the deep sleep? It is in the seed form. The consciousness itself is the only thing which is present, which is the awareness. How do you know that? Vedanta explains to us very simply. When you wake up from the deep sleep, you say, I had a wonderful sleep. That wonderful sleep came to you because of that consciousness, knowledge. You become aware when you are later on when you wake up, I had a wonderful sleep. Before that, somebody else said, no, I had a very disturbed sleep. My head was paining, or my leg was paining, or the mosquito was biting, or something like that. But the deep sleep guy, really? I didn't know anything. So that is called causal body or karana sharira. So now, when you go into the samadhi state, it is that karana sharira, deep sleep, is a tiny example of the samadhi, where you're fully aware of the world, and yet you are not. You are into that awareness, and you have merged to be what? Who you really are. You are that awareness and you become you. And which is our journey. How to do that is why we practice that meditation. So today we will practice a little bit of that meditation, which is, I will talk to you about it. So now, how do I love consciousness? Very simple. Consciousness is everywhere. This book has consciousness. Table also has consciousness. But where is the Sukshma Sharira for the table of the book? It is not there. It has only got physical body and it has got consciousness. The consciousness is what? Remember our Vedanta understanding. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is the existence, Chit is the consciousness, and Ananda, bliss. So what is consciousness expressing for the table, for this book? It's called existence. It exists. It is using the consciousness to exist. What is the opposite of consciousness? What is the opposite of existence? Non-existent. So if you are not conscious, you don't exist. You got the point? Understanding now Vedanta and applying it into our real life and bringing it for an understanding. And we don't have to do it like Janak Maharshi. That, of course, it was a story for Ashtavakra given to him and for us to understand that this is a mistake we do. But though these examples and doing it, they are important, like rituals, like blowing conch, or doing agarbatti, or doing Satyanarayan Puja, or doing Krishna, or let's say the fasting of Ramadan, and all this, every religious practices are good to take us through the practices to that which is non-practice, which is you are. It takes us there progressively in various ways, and the Vedanta takes us direct. And notice, beautiful, does God exist? In Hinduism, there is always a yes and a no. Can I see God? Yes and no. Is God made? Yes and no. Are you with me? This is the beauty of the Vedanta. Vedanta says what? So, what is Brahman? Brahman is Nirguna Brahman, which is actual God. What is Brahman? Brahman means, if you all remember our earlier discussion, simply vast. Vast. We say vast ocean, vast country, vast India. The moment you say vast India, there is a limit. Meaning after India there is China or Bangladesh or something. Vast ocean, there is a limit. Vast sky, there is a limit. When you say just vast, it is no limit. So Brahman is no limit. Now how do I experience that? So this is Nirguna. It has got no attribute. Attribute? What is attribute? Very simplified. Otherwise Kiri will ask me, what is attribute? Attribute is, let's say, Mustafa. this is the example from the dictionary, okay? Mustafa attributes his success to hard work. Okay? Karana. The cause and the effect. The cause. Because of hard work, I experience my success. Right? Now, the attribute of a Brahman is nin. Nothing. There is no attribute. The moment you put Maya and attribute to Brahman, you have God with you. And now you have Krishna or Allah or Christ or Shiva or Divine Mother Kali. They all have attributes and such fantastic forms. 10 hands of Durga Mata, Ganapati Budi, Ganapati Baba with the elephant head, and they're all meaningful examples of why it has been there and how many hands and why those hands are. Mother Kali, you see the necks around her body. Gruesome picture, no? Naked female's body, tongue out, blood flowing from all over. Imagine supposing you really saw. There's a beautiful example one monk was saying. He was asked this question by another monk. They were talking about this Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. So in Brahman, which is Nirguna Brahman, there is no birth, there is no death, nothing. The sun, whereas in the Saguna, there is birth, there is death, which is understood, and you are supposed to go beyond that mind. So here, this monk who was studying various things, what is this? What is this God? And he found both the examples, and he asked lots of people in the same ashram, didn't get the answer, and most of the other monks got very bored about his logic and things like that. So this monk realized, so he went to this happened in, actually happened in Sir's land, Uttaranchal. It is somewhere north of Rishikesh. So he goes to the next door, there is a staunch, very senior monk, Advaitavadi. He goes and asks him, which is true? Janam hai ya nahi hai? So the senior monk okay, the question was, exact word was, is there life after death? Is there life after death? That was the question. So the senior monk said, जन्म ही नहीं है तो जन्म के बाद का क्या बात कर रहे हैं? There is no birth, there is no death. Meaning you are eternal, he's trying to say. This is what Mandaka is talking about. This is what I talked about. There is no Sukshma Sharir with the tables or these. Yes, sir.
Sir, I wanted to, since you are talking, listening to the same way, I've got one question on this only. Like what I have understood that
Slightly louder, slightly.
What I have understood till now, that Nirgun Brahman, when merges with Maya, becomes a Sagun Brahman.
Yes.
And
Maya means it is attributes.
Attributes that becomes a Sagun Brahman.
Yeah.
And they say the human, basically we, can't see that Brahman because of avidya. Because of avidya. Avidya they call it.
Yes.
We can't see that Brahman. Is there in Vedanta some ways that we can experience that Brahman? Now how to come out?
Are you talking about seeing?
Yeah, no, experiencing or something.
Experience.
They say you can see avidya can be removed only because you understand Brahman. That's what I have understood basically.
Yes. See, Vidya and Avidya is because of Maya.
Yeah.
Now, Maya, let's say, what is God? What is the experiential of God? God is Nirguna Brahman with Maya. And Maya gives you what? Attributes. With which? So the definition of, I think I got your, I think Samashti Ajnana Upariti Chaitanya. That's the definition of God. Samashti Ajnana, because of an Upariti Chaitanya, the consciousness itself. So in which it is what? It is consciousness, Brahman, plus Maya, plus, like, what are our attributes? We have a body, and because of which you are different from your wife, from your husband, from your children, from the people. All of us are separate from each other. Why? Because we got a different body, we got a different mind, and like that, our attributes are different.
Recording in progress.
Excuse me. Yeah. So, very good. God is Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman is, this is why in Hinduism both are correct. So, in Advaita accepts both. Both are okay. So, here now, what is it? You and I have what? Attributes are what? Like our body, like our gender, and then goes ahead. We have a mind, we have intellect, we have memory, buddhi, all that. God also has. Brahman doesn't. Brahman is nirgun, no attribute. But God has attributes. God has physical body? Yes. What physical body? This entire samashti, ajnana, uparita chaitanya, along with chaitanya, coupled the entire universe is God's body. You and I have a mind. God also has a mind. What mind is God's mind? It is called Hiranyagarbha. What is Hiranyagarbha? Sounds complicated, but very simple. All the minds of the universe. Imagine a giant computer. What is it called? Chat Jupiter, no? Which is tapping into all the computers. Imagine one giant computer which is tapping into all of our mind. All the animals, all the plants, whatever it is supposed to have a mind. It has one mind. And that is God's mind. God also has a mind. God also has a body. And God has got this Maya with which it is attributing, with the consciousness. Now your answer is, it is experiencing. Experience, if you look at it carefully, I think I understand what you're saying. Word will be, Vijay sir, we have to correct it a little bit, and we say aware. Experience, the moment we say it has to be five senses. That is how you experience the world. But the moment you say aware, yes, that is correct. I think what you were wanting to say was the awareness. So, we become aware of who we are, we attain Brahma Tattva. In the process, a very good practical example is ocean filled with waves. Waves are saying, I am Robbin Ghosh, I am Vijay sir, I, this is what, I am tsunami. Moment the waves become calm, it becomes one with the ocean. You cannot say this was Robbin Ghosh. It has become one with the ocean. But it has not become aware that I am water. Okay? It has become the ocean. So it has become huge. It has become God-like. Which is avatara. Which is what we have talked about it. Avataras.
It's what you're talking about, awareness, like
Huh?
being aware. Like
Yes.
I'm experiencing myself, like more and more I understand this, I feel that it is more of an intellectual discussion in my mind. Still I have not been able to, really understand, or I would say being aware of a Brahman. It's more into intellectual discussion by saying that I am Brahman.
Very good point. What Vijay sir is saying, correct me if I have not correctly understood. What he's saying, that we have to become aware. Upalabdhi karna hai. Paramahansa Ramakrishna say in Bengali, kotha gulo bhalo, meaning the words are very nice, but anubhav korte hobe. You have to feel it to realize it, you have to understand it. what Vijay sir is saying, that we go in intellectual discussion or read books or talk. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But we have to feel it. Yes. So the great masters have said, what is the other side? Other side, we are talking about, sensual pleasure, fun, party, enjoyment. Why? Because we are not talking about death. So what Vedanta is saying, it is better to go through the ritual, go through the dogma, but go with the leaving the slippers outside the temple. Meaning, go with as empty a mind as you can. Stop being a mother when you come here, or stop being a father. Stop being a man or a woman. I come here because I love what? Brahman, Babaji, Divine Mother, God, Allah, whatever you like to say. But that is a good process to go with, to come to that awareness. That awareness, otherwise what happens, even those who are very seriously following it, it is fleeting. And that is why we are not Paramahamsa. But that fleeting thing from there, with, you remember those Ashtanga and the Sadhana Chatushta, these are all very important steps to go to that purity. And then if you look carefully, a baby, the baby just knows the world, it knows something. Slowly we imbibe into them sensual, this is this, this is that, and they try to make what you call experiencing the world. From there we have to once again become like a baby, like a Paramahamsa, like Jesus Christ. They're childlike, meaning even though he knew this Judas is going to let me off, he still went and gave him his bread. Meaning, he's a poor guy, he doesn't know who he is. So, experiencing part of it with the Brahman, you can experience God. Because God has attributes. You can love. I love. Somebody asked Ramana Maharshi this question. I've talked about it earlier. He said, I love Vishnu. I don't understand all this awareness and all that thing. What you keep talking about? So when I die, will I be able to meet Vishnu? He said, yes. Ramana Maharshi, he just nodded his head. I'll meet him. He said, yes. Will I be able to talk to him? He said, yes. He used to hardly speak. I don't know if you all know, Ganapati Muni wrote Ramana Gita. Ramana Gita is exactly half of Bhagavad Gita. So somebody asked Ganapati Muni, why is it exactly half? He gave a beautiful answer. He said, because Ramana Maharshi used to speak half like Krishna. When he used to speak very little. Krishna is also avatar. For him, Ramana Maharshi is also avatar. So, getting back to this gentleman said, I will be able to see. He said, yes. I'll be able to talk to him. Yes. What will he say to me? He said, he'll say, find out who you are. So this is what, going from that to ultimate journey to true, which is called realization, is to find out who am I exactly, who are we. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so my question is, like, in an ideal world, I mean, now wherever we have reached, it's fine. But in an
Slowly and softly. In an ideal world.
In an ideal world, would it have been better for, like as you said, when a baby is born?
Slowly.
When a baby is born, the baby is almost Paramahansa. And again, we put all the worldly things into their minds, and we teach them all the world things. Then they become less Paramhansa, and eventually again when they realize that I need to know myself, again they try hard to become Paramahansa, and in one lifetime it's not even possible. So in an ideal world, is it better not to feed in so many things, so many complicated things into the minds, the education system or the careers, everything? Rather keep it simple, just make a living and die, and
Slowly, towards the end.
Rather keep it simple, don't teach them much about the world, and just let them make a living of whatever. So will that be a better process to retain the Paramahansa easier?
Better person?
Will that be a better process to, I mean, what we are doing is like we are putting in things and then again removing, right?
So what are you asking this question that would it be better, why pass through all this suffering and sickness and all that? The baby like
and
it
we
was
are doing it, right?
and
We
become
are- yeah,
Paramahansa
being-
again, like
being
a baby like.
Yeah, being a mother,
Hmm.
I mean, maybe I did not have a choice. Like today, if I had a choice and if I have a baby, maybe I'll not educate.
So what you're saying, why have this life?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
I mean, why to put all the worldly things, all education, all careers and
Why to
everything?
do all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eternal question. you remind me, there is a beautiful book written, Why Does the World Exist? Why does the universe exist? Why did it come into being? Why do we all have to be like this? This is not, it's a good question. It's a very, very, very ancient question and it has been answered again and again. Do you have that book? If God exists, why do we suffer? No? Okay, Shada ma'am will give you one copy today. It got written through my hand. I have not written it, they have written it. It will answer that question, but I'll answer it to you. See, the birth of the concept of two ways I'll answer it. One is for a child's way. A child way, Alan Watt is writing a book. The name of the book, you remember? Is book. Okay, it's written for the baby. Very expensive. I wanted to buy that book. I chose not to. 1800 rupees it is, and I have it in my Kindle, which was less, 1200 rupees or something. 1800 rupees, and it has to come from America, and it is very thin. I don't think it's more than 30-40 pages. I think it's a waste of money. I didn't buy it. Alan Watt says God was alone, meaning God is Brahman, Nirguna Brahman. God is alone. And he was very happy being what you're saying. Happy being who is. God got bored. So this is explaining why does the world, universe exist to the children. Actually, it is very good for you and me to understand. I got a tremendous feeling out of that. He said God got bored. So he wanted to create somebody who he can play with. So God created not God. Okay? God created not God. Not God. He created so well that not God and God, they were identical. Now God is playing with not God. Great fun. And not God after all has to have something which is not God. Not like God. Not God soon forgot that he is not God. And because he forgot not God, he can't come back to become God. And Alan Watt is saying that not God is you. Beautiful story. And the other one is, see, Brahman itself is, let's say, you remember Kashmiri Shaivism, we talked about it. Kashmiri Shaivism, Shiva is that Brahman, as per Kashmiri Shaivism. We say Shiva is and Brahma, Vishnu, Ishwara, like that. In the Kashmiri Shaivism, he is the Purusha, he is the Prakriti. But that is Sankhya philosophy. As per Advaita Vedanta, there is only one, that is Brahman. But there, Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is Shiva, Prakriti is Mother, Divine Mother. Now, that is Maya. Maya has to come into play with Brahman to create this universe. Without Maya, without Prakriti, without the mother of the universe, you cannot have the universe. Mother gives birth to the universe, and Shiva is the Prakriti, which is Brahman. So whose power is the Maya? Maya is the power of Brahman. Brahman only giving us the power. So let's say a very simple example Paramahansa Ramakrishna gives. He says, imagine a marriage house. The father is sitting and maybe having a cigarette or a drink, along with his friend, and the mother is running round and round like Sharadama, all the time doing things here and there. And once in a while, the mother will come and whisper something to the father of the house, and father does like this, and mother again goes around and doing something like that. Yeah? So he said, same way, Brahman is doing nothing. But Brahman only gives the power to Maya, mother, to create this world. Now, why is it necessary asking your question? How will you experience the world? You cannot experience your most important karma. You have done work because you took birth, right? Now you will say, now it's like a jalebi, circle. Because you took birth, so you had karma, and because you had karma, you will have further karma, and it goes on. So understand it this way. The eternal Vedanta truth is talking about, take a big circle, huge circle, imagine. Let's say 1 mile or 10 mile long circle, okay? Actual circle. But you take a tiny piece, you cut one tiny piece from that circle. Now if you look at it, it will look like one straight line. It will not look like a circle. But entirety is the circle, which is that life and death and the circle. Why? Because the generation, as per Vedanta, says that you and I have to pass through these to continue to travel, to become one with who you really are, which is called Maya, which is the journey, which is called Drishti Shrishti Vada, meaning there has to be a creation. Otherwise, what creation? Brahman is alone, Brahman is very happy. Nobody, no earth, no world, no universe, nothing. But then, what about the universe? Where is it? We need a universe. Why do we need one universe? How will you experience the world? That's why God has given you 5 senses. Now, it is looked like a jalebi, like because of this, that is coming back. And again, why do we have to become? That journey is very important. And you take it this way, and as you take the journey, you will progressively understand So, understood what is God? Attributes of God is causal body, a physical body. Physical body is this entire universe. Everything that you can think about is God's body. Everybody is mind. Hiranyagarbha is causal mind. And with this you are creating with the attributes and the mother, just like you and I have attributes. So eventually this is what it means. Remember, I am that. Tat Tvam Asi. You and God are not separate, because your causal body are exactly the same as God's. God has got a physical body, got a mind, it's got attributes. You also have attributes, you got a mind and the body. God has got Brahman plus Maya. You're also Brahman plus Maya. So this is where you go into meditation, and when you realize, through the practice of the meditation we'll do a little bit today, that actually that oneness is within us, and we have to realize that. So what happened then? What experience do with that we will finish today's session. There is a lot to be covered. After you become enlightened, do they look at the world differently? That they are suddenly experiencing the world different? So Vedanta says, no, they look at the world exactly as you do. Only thing, what I was talking about, they know, which you were saying experience, which is aware. They are aware. Buddha was aware. I know. I am the awakened one. Otherwise, all of us are sleeping. So we have to wake up and make this world into a beautiful world, which is supposed to be that which called Ramarajya. Now, this journey itself is Nirguna Brahman and God. And in between comes Maya, and you have those various effects. Why is this creation? Is lots of research has gone on way with the need, and Vivekananda said, I would have created a world better than God. God has made lots of mistakes. You know, like manufacturing defect, I told you. Why do we have to have 5 senses? Because of the 5 senses we are going out. Why is it necessary? And
That's what, sir, I was thinking of. Like whether you call it experience or whether you call it
loudly, sir.
whether you call it experience or you call it awareness. For both, we have to depend on our 5 senses only.
Different kind of?
We have to depend on our 5 senses only.
Thank you very much. Vijay sir is again touched on the deepest of the nerve. In the meditation, we'll practice that. Simple answer is apparently yes, but no. Yeah? So, shall we break it up?
Sir, can I
And-
ask one question?
Sorry?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, of course.
Every time we look at the world differently.
Mom, please listen up.
Every time we're looking at the word differently.
Every time,
We're looking at the word differently.
World.
Word, sir.
uh,
Differently.
every time, what differently?
Word.
Different.
We're looking at the word differently.
Good question. You remember I talked about paradigm shift?
Yeah.
Shifting the paradigm means the way you perceive the world. Yeah? To perceive it to its perfection. To know who we really are, which is the world. If we realize your world is different than her world is different than his world. No, everybody's world is different. Though apparently the world is this earth, this India or whatever. Why? Because of one is paradigm shift, shifting the way you look at the world, and second is ethical manifestation. The purer the child is pure, Paramahansa is pure. So they look at the world differently. But you and I in between the journey with so much of so-called defectiveness within us. So how do you perceive the world? Answer to your question depends on state of your mind. But state of your mind is not you. That's the mind, which is an apparatus which you're using, an apps. Like the body, you're using like an app. Mind changes, body changes, but you are not changing. In the meditation, we'll practice. Today's exercises, we will do the ancient Buddhist meditation. Follow up of that, I'll share with you all mindfulness meditation in the world for about 10 minutes. And then we will do Vedantic meditation, in which we will practice in both the awareness, notice and experience the experiences of the senses, and notice and become aware of the difference between sensual experiences and the awareness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes. Do not open the eyes even if any disturbances come. And even if you happen to have a mobile sometimes and they start to ring, my recommendation is don't pick up and destroy the tranquility and the peace that you get. Those who have rung up, you can see the number later and call them back. And they will also call you back if they really want you badly. Breathe in. To start, Kriya Yoga practices, the first 3 basic exercises, 20-20-20, we will follow them today also. And then we'll go into this 2 meditative process. Let's do 6 times 20-20-20. It means breathing in. If it is 20 times or 15 times or 10 times, number of count that it takes to breathe in, hold the same number of count and breathe out in the same number of counts. If my breath takes, breathing in is only 6 count, I'll hold for 6 count, breathe out for 6 count. Let us do it for 6 times. Hands right over left in Dhyana Mudra, Gyana Mudra, resting at the junction of the thigh and the torso. Sitting in Sahajasana, Sukhasana or Padmasana. Those of you interested in sitting in a chair, you can. Be careful that there is railing on the side, otherwise you might fall down from the chair sometime. It will happen. What is it? That you will reach the ecstasy at times, you will totally forget about your body, and sometimes you may fall down. So as per ancient Vedanta, you should not sit anywhere else other than on a cushion from the ground, not more than 2 inches, laid down in Vedanta. Starting mind. Fist in front of the knee, 6 times breathing over. Now 6 times, tighten the whole body, toe to the scalp, vibrate in the sitting posture. 6 times, 3 to 4 second vibration, relax and repeat. Now we'll start with the mindfulness breathing, which is something like Hamsa, slightly different. You will find the difference. In Hamsa, you breathe in and you say silently hum, and you breathe out sa, without waiting. In the mindfulness breathing, you're breathing in and breathing out. In Hamsa, the task is watch your breath. Watch your breath. In mindfulness, watch the breath and followed by something. We will continue to talk about it. Let us start with Hamsa and then slowly merge into mindfulness. Breathing in. No holding on the top, no holding at the bottom. Breathing in. Watching the breath, the air going in. Cool sensation. Breathing out. Slowly merging into mindfulness. Warm air going out, tip of the nostril. Few times. Focus on the breath. Forget everything else, only the breath. No movement. case anything causes great discomfort, you may move slightly, lessen it, and immediately get back. Slowly become aware. Awareness, I'm not the breath. I'm aware of the coolness because of the breath at the tip of the nostril. I'm not the breath. Breathing out of the warmth at the tip of the nostril. I am not the air. I am not my body, not my nose. I am the awareness. Focus between the eyebrow, with your eyes down or up, closed. Coolness at the tip of the nostril, warm as we exhale. Total attention. I'm aware of this body. Breathing in through the touch sensation of the senses. I'm aware of the awareness of the breath going in. I'm aware of the awareness of the breath going out. I'm aware of the floor behind, below my feet, below my body, with the sensation of the touch. Become aware of the sound in this hall. Be aware of the sound because of the ear, because of the sense of hearing. But I am aware. Faint sound. I'm aware of the absence of sound, but I am aware. My eyes are closed, but I am aware that I am here in this room. I'm aware in the practice of mindfulness meditation. Focus only on the awareness. I'm aware my eyes are closed, but I'm aware of my eyes. But I can't see anything. But with my eyes closed, I see the divine light. I'm aware of that light. I'm aware of my thoughts. What is it leading to? Where am I, the awareness, going? The awareness is not moving, but I am aware of my thoughts. What is it for? I'm aware of a gentle calmness, lesser of thoughts. I'm aware I'm not moving. I'm aware of the questions in my mind. I'm aware of the calmness, lesser and lesser of disturbance. I'm aware of a feeling of love for everyone. I'm aware I wish to share, give what my awareness feels this body has, this name and the form. I'm aware that I'm awake, practicing a process of meditation. I'm aware I'm going beyond my senses and becoming who I really am, my awareness. It is like the light, like the sunlight, light from within. Jyoti, Jyoti, Saprabhav, self-illumined. I don't need a light. I'm aware of this body, its form. I'm aware of its weight, its name. But I'm not this name, not this body. I'm aware of my mind and feeling. My desire of wanting everything in this universe. To want things from the universe. I'm aware. This awareness to the body and the name and the form has to give it first. I'm aware of the need for the giving to receiving. Go beyond. Be aware. Drop the thoughts. Imagine a blankness. Through the dream sleep, from waking to deep sleep. Imagine a deep sleep, visualize. No name, no thoughts. Blankness but not dark. Filled with light, I'm aware of the light. I'm not seeing the light. I, the awareness, am aware that I am the light. As I shine with my awareness, the world shines for me to see with my senses, to perceive the world. I'm aware. Because of this awareness, this consciousness, I experience love through my mind, through my attachment, through the mind because of my awareness, to my family member. I'm aware of my commitment to my work, through the mind. Drop the name, drop the body, just visualize. I'm aware of that light, not absence of light, darkness, but the light of the awareness that I am the awareness. I have no name, form. Tasya bhata sarvam idam vibhati. Because I light with my self, the awareness, the whole world shines for me. I have no name, no form. But I am always there. Through my awareness, I empower my vision, my mind for feeling, my intellect to think, my awareness makes my mind remember through memory. My awareness empowers the mind, which is not I. Empowers the mind to tell the mind, I am ego. I am detached and yet ever present. I'm aware through meditation, being still, being silent. I'm focused to who I am, the awareness. Tasya bhata anubhati sarvam. Because of the awareness, I am the light, I'm the awareness in everyone, in everything. I'm aware of that oneness, of the light, of the consciousness. Only that light. It is detached. It empowers all my senses, empowers my being through the body. Give it a name. and go beyond that. Not just focusing my awareness, now become merged with awareness, one with who I really am, the light of the light. I am merging with myself. I am that. Detached from this name, the body and the form. I am the light of the light, the consciousness, the awareness. Is always there. Even when this body grows old, body dies, I will remain. Merged with everyone. I am that consciousness, that awareness, merge with the Supreme Gods of the universe, the consciousness, the Brahman of the great masters, of the light of the universe. I'm one. Merge with it, going beyond the senses, the body, the mind. I know I'm there. I, the awareness, am there. Using my senses, using this present body, using this name and a role and a form. But I am merged with I, the awareness, even when I am awake or going into sleep. It is I am the awareness. I plant a seed of the wish of the mind, which I illuminate with my awareness. I'm using that mind. I need to purify that mind with its desires and show it what is real, what is not real. detach from what is not real. I guide the mind to be holding on to the reality of truth through the mind, and use the power of the speech to express the truth. Or I exercise my awareness, I am the silence. I merged with my awareness and silence. One with this universe, with this world. Like the water in the ocean, it merged with the waves, or the bubble, the froth of the ocean itself. I'm that consciousness, awareness. Take long breaths. Chant 3 times Om with me. The Jagrat, the Sapna, the Sushupti, deep sleep of the Omkar. I make my body take a deep breath. Slowly become conscious of the body, of the limbs, of the name, of the form, of being present with the body, but being aware always that I am the awareness operating and perceiving the world. Through my mind, being empowered by the awareness consciousness. The empowered mind is like the moon from the sun of the consciousness, empowers the 5 senses and the brain, and perceives the world through the senses. To be in this world. With my awareness, I move my body and the limb, and I learn, and I understand, or not understand. Take deep breath. When you're ready, you can open your eyes at your own path. Pranam, salutations to the Mother of the Universe, Jagat Janani. Now Brahma Vishnu Mahesh. The Jagat Guru Mahavtar Babaji. Your Gurudevas to bless us, to bless this awareness, to merge with them. The basic aim of meditation is to learn to focus, to concentrate, dharana, dhyana, and then become one with that supreme awareness, one consciousness, one awareness in this universe. Check.